All right, everybody, welcome back to the Red Clay Report, brought to you by the Saturday Sanctuary, where football is not just a sport, it is a religion. But you already know we don't play by God. My guy GP is back in the building from celebrating his birthday. He was on vacation, living up his best life. Also doing side quests as a bartender these days. Some people just say they're gonna do these crazy things. GP just goes and does it. I don't. I mean, I remember you saying it, and you just decided. I look up, you're like, yeah, bro, I'm about to start bartending tomorrow. What?
Hey man, life like I got aspirations. This is a side, like you said, side hustle to get me somewhere.
Hey,
So
it's a side quest with a real true vision for sure. I will say that. But everybody, welcome back in. Of course, I was solo yesterday talking about Kentucky, recapping the Kentucky and Georgia game. Of course, we won that one 35-14. Should have been probably a little wider margin on that win, but we'll take it how we get it. This week, of course, we have Auburn coming up. We are headed to the Plains. Not too far from my hometown, Columbus, GA. Shout out to the 706. But we'll get into that as well. But before we do, my guy GP is back. So we are going to give you the opportunity to have the final word, the final say, as we leave everything behind from the Georgia-Kentucky game. So, of course, looking back at that game, offensively, I think we were pretty good. We finally got an opportunity to see Pug come in, a lot of those young guys come in. We got to see Elias Williams get run out the gate. I mean, of course, we saw him come in with Pug later on as well, consistently, but it was just I feel like a good day for the offense. What are you feeling most confidently about when it comes to the offense?
I will continue to say, because it shows up every week and has shown up every week so far, it's been the run game. Run game has been excellent all days, all the entire time. Chauncey was good. We got they made mention of it that we rotate 5 guys, which when I think about it is kind of crazy, but it is accurate.
Sick.
Well, it depends on how you look at Dylan Bell, I guess. But I say 5 because it's Chauncey, Nate, Cash, Josh McCray, and Dwight Phillips.
Facts.
Yeah, and then I can occasionally.
Got a little Bo. We saw Bo. We actually saw Bo.
Oh yeah, and Bo has gotten work as well. He's nice. I like him too. So I guess you were right. 6 technically. Throwing in Dylan Bell as well, I guess, to spin the rock a little bit. Run game, like I said, probably been the most thing I think I've been confident in. And then you said least so far.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say? I didn't say it, but that was coming too. I mean, of course, the easy answer is probably the offensive line. I'm not sure if that's how you feel about it, but I mean, I know that probably would be my answer if I had to pick something that I'm least confident in, would be specifically the offensive line and their ability to protect in the passing downs.
Yeah, I would say probably pass pro right now from the O line. Clearly they're also young and they've been hurt, so I think that's a big issue. Like, one thing I think I will say is, like, unlike a lot of schools, you can kind of tell that we have a decent amount of depth, because there have been times we're on our second and our third stringers, and I ain't saying that you can't tell, because you can in some instances, but it's very nice to know that, like, they're serviceable. For example, we have two starting freshmen right now. Dontrell Glover at right guard, and Juan Gaston is finally fixated at right tackle. Mm-hmm. Yep. So 2 freshmen. Hopefully they grow and, become elite guys. They're really good right now, obviously, but they're going to have young mistakes. Pass pro, still a work in progress. I think that also is a continuity thing as well. That's really the big thing. And then this is just me being hypercritical, and we can get into the weeds of this a little bit later. I do still feel like, as good as Gunner has been playing, we are leaving a lot of throws out there that could be had. Finally got the tight end the ball. First time for everything. I guess, what a concept. Which is so funny, considering, yes, obviously we had, a crazy weapon previously in, like, Brock Bowers. But he's in the NFL now. And Oscar Delp that to me was like Oscar has always been like athletic, not as athletic as Brock, but like he took off on a catch over the middle, and I was like, oh snap! I was like, I didn't realize you were that fast. I just knew you as like you hurdle everybody, and you catch the ball pretty well. Like he's really good. Like we have athletic tight ends. Got to get them involved more. A lot of that is not really on Bobo as well, and that's something I think I want to you know kind of like wrap up right here, tie this nice with a bow. From what I've seen through these first, what is it, 5 games now? 4 games?
Games going on our six.
Yeah. Bobo's not really the issue. People are open. The run game's working fine. Obviously, the offensive line's a work in progress. Now it's up for Gunner, and obviously, it's like his, what, like sixth or seventh start, technically, coming
I
out the
still
second
give
year.
him six. I mean, I feel like that Notre Dame game was just on the fly.
Yeah. But it's at this point, it's like, yeah, he's not young. That's the thing too. He's not young, but he's inexperienced as a starting
Yeah.
quarterback. But you got to see these things. He's tucking and running sometimes when he probably should stick in and throw. I don't know if that's because you're not trusting your offensive line, or if you're just going through your first or second read and like getting out of there or what. But guys are open. That's the next step, I think, to take the offense from, I think we averaged like 34.6 to maybe averaging closer to like 40 or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, we talk about, like you said, some you mentioned with the tight ends, Oscar Delp. That was a great that was a big
yeah,
explosive play. I mean,
yeah,
we've been needing those explosive plays. He definitely took off. I mean, he showed his athleticism and how elite he is from there was a clip. Um I don't even know if I did it myself or if I saw them do it live, but you can see there was a small hole of opportunity there. The cornerbacks are already lined up in front of him, and he outran people that were
already.
already ahead of him and had that angle. So, hey, he was balling. Got to give it up to Oscar for that one. I do agree. I think there are sometimes plays left out there on the field, points left out there to be had. Well, I think there's less plays that equate to points to be had. He's not missing the well, not
Well,
wide open. He's not
he,
missing the bums anymore. I
yeah,
will say that.
he ain't egregious with it at
Yeah,
all. It's just
that's
like
not happening anymore.
it's just
But
like there's some plays where you're like, you tugged it and ran and got 3 yards or 4 yards.
yeah,
When if you had thrown the ball, we would have gotten a first down. Maybe it would have been a 20, 25 yard game. There was for example, and this is just, it was a couple times during the Bama game for sure.
hmm
And then he threw his first interception of the year, and that interception was a terrible throw, bad decision, bad mechanics. He threw it into a double. I would have actually preferred you throw that one-on-one ball with Oscar Delp, and Oscar had 2 steps on
absolutely,
his man on the outside. I actually think Oscar probably scores, but with a decent ball there. So, and you shown
absolutely. I love to see that, but I ain't gonna lie. I ain't mind the interception just because it's like, all right, like you finally trying some stuff. I'm cool with it. Like, granted, I want him to do the same thing, and I said this last night, but I want him to do the same thing that he's been doing though, which is he makes a mistake and he don't really make the mistake again for real. Not big mistakes. He don't do it again. Doesn't do it again. I feel like an Alabama game versus the Kentucky game, I feel like he improved a lot with just not taking off and running off. And when he is running, he's picking the right scramble lane and picking the right rush lane in the sense of where he's going to go. So to escape the pocket, Alabama game, it was at times it felt like he was seeing ghosts. Like, where are you going? Like, why are you running that way? But I feel like it was a lack of confidence in the offensive line. I feel like I could see him even in the Alabama game and the Tennessee game, but all game in the Kentucky game, I can see him reading through his progressions, getting to where he wants to be. I will say sometimes he leaves plays to be had, or he may rush for 10 yards when we maybe could have had a 25-yard pass, or you did a check down, we could have had a 25-yard pass. But I will say Gunner is always going to be either on time or early. He's not going to put us in a position where, bro, why? And we'll talk about it later with Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold's biggest thing is you holding the ball too long
too long.
consistently. I will say Gunner, I will take what we have versus that. Because
Yeah.
when you got that going on, it's like we got more problems because we got to break down where you're not seeing what was there.
Why you
And
not getting out of
if you
there?
saw it, why you didn't do it.
Yeah,
okay, you weren't confident in this maybe risky small window throw. Why didn't you check the ball down? Like at that
yeah.
point, we gotta really, like a buddy said on Instagram, consequences. Like what's going on? What's going on? So I will say I appreciate that about Gunner. He's always gonna be on time or early. I feel like as the season has progressed and will progress, he'll be less early, less plays. He'll be early on and settle for the check down too early, and he'll be right on time and continue to be on time. So I'm excited to see where he goes from there. We can move on, of course, to our defense. Not exactly. If you told me, I'll say if you told me this summer that we would have more jolly conversations behind the offense than the defense, I would
Yeah,
think you a damn fool.
yeah, that's crazy.
I think you lying. I would think you lying to me. But I mean, let's get into it. I'm gonna just put it out there, plain and simple. We know the secondary is the biggest issue. Call
Mm-hmm.
it what it is. Call it spade a spade. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned, how concerned are you about the secondary as is?
6.
6.
I
Okay.
say I'll say 6 because, and I've said this to you, I feel like before. Individuals are playing. There are certain individuals that are playing well.
Okay.
As a unit, they are not as cohesive as they need to be. Just playing. And I feel like in my order right now, the best player in the secondary has been Jonel Aguero. Now, I will say the first touchdown was his fault. The first touchdown I let up,
Oh
you
yeah,
cover
yeah, 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 yeah.
you cover the flat instead of staying with the tight end. You're supposed to stay with the tight end.
You was trying to do too much.
Yeah, you didn't need to do that. Stay with the tight end. But he's, I would say, has been the best player in the secondary. My second person I would say has been KJ, and then after that has been Dalen, and then outside of that, maybe DeMelo playing good against Bama. But other than that, like the rest of the secondary, Pittsburgh. And that's me saying like Ellis just has to play better. It's weird. Ellis has been spotty. He was actually really good. He was actually pretty decent in Kentucky for the first time, which I
Yeah.
think again, this is like this is like reps. You need reps, competition. You just need more reps. You need to see it almost, if that makes sense. Like you ain't really play last year. Everybody thought you was gonna start as a freshman. Don't
Wanted
really.
you to start. People were
Yeah,
begging
why don't you
for you.
start? Yeah, it just don't work like that. Definitely, people definitely wanted you to start. Oh my god, I would have actually preferred him take his lumps last year across from Dalen rather than what we're going through right now.
Yeah,
Because
hindsight is
watching
2020. We ain't have nothing to win last year. So
watching Julian Humphrey and Daniel Harris bombed on with his effort. His effort was bad sometimes last year. That was
yeah.
terrible. But between Demelo and uh and I'm gonna be honest, I think Daniel Harris, even with the injury, not to speculate or anything, but like I think he got Wally pipped personally at this point.
You said you think you what?
I think he got Wally pipped. I think he's benched. I think it's over for him.
You think it's
That's
over
just
with? I mean, they've
yeah.
said. I mean, they've said it's a hamstring issue, and he's doing
He's
special teams still because of that.
yeah.
So
Hey, but I'm at this point. I think you're gonna see some rotation of Dalen. Well, Dalen probably don't come off as much, but some rotation of Dalen Ellis and Demelo, and maybe Dom Kelly. I liked what I saw out of Dom Kelly, the freshman, number 24. It's really good. He's probably between him and, well, I mean, I've seen decent play out of Dalen for the most part. And I would say what DeMelo did in the Bama game, those two, which is hilarious, two of the younger dudes, they played like the most consistent throughout like that particular game. Um, yeah, so I just want them to work better as a unit. And I'm gonna be real. This is my last part about the secondary. We put the corners on islands a lot, so it's like you kind of have to live with what they can or cannot do. One thing I
right,
would love for them to do is just be more physical at the line of scrimmage and reroute some of these guys. I think that would help them a lot in terms of like when they're then able to try to play the ball in the air, because they're letting a lot of dudes have just a bunch of free releases, and not being able to put hands on these dudes allows them to get up on you. And everybody knows playing quarterback is probably the hardest thing to do in football outside of playing quarterback. Or be on that line of scrimmage getting smoked every play. And, you don't know where they're going, but you haven't rerouted them or anything like that, and they just running by you. They running by you. Now you have to play catch up and look for the ball and get bombed on. Yeah, but if we're gonna do that, I know this does correlate a little bit. The other safety spot across from KJ, I don't give a damn if it's Kyron, if it's Ja'Cory, whoever you put in there. They just have to play better. I really do feel like that, and the reason I say that is because I genuinely feel like KJ is like a splash player kind of dude. I know you like to compare him to Richie LeCount a lot. I think KJ would be a lot better to me if Kyron and or Ja'Cory played better. I think because neither of those do like Kyron's physical, but like that's the only thing he's really good at for me right now. And I'm at the point where I'd rather see Adrian Maddox or Zion Branch damn near out there across from KJ at this point because y'all are killing me and it's bad. It's just all bad. And I feel like because they're not great right now, it makes KJ have to do too much that he should not be doing.
I feel like I mean, I honestly don't have that much beef with Kyron Jones as much as you do, or with Ja'Cory. I mean, I just feel like there's not much that happens around them that is directly like what are you doing?
Again, I think that's because you see us put our corners on islands a lot, and you're like, you just got bombed on. And then they show the replay, and you'd be like, oh, you didn't put no hands on him at the line of scrimmage. No wonder you got bombed on. But a lot of that is also the safety's fault for not given any help over the top. Or in the Tennessee game, for example, I saw Ja'Cory bite on a out and up, and it's just like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was bad, but we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it since. But I think
reps. This takes reps.
Yeah, I think I just have patience for them, and I just haven't seen them give up. I've seen KJ give up more explosives than them this season.
They're too old.
Ja'Cory gave up the out and up, but KJ same game. KJ gave up essentially the same type of
touchdown. Yeah.
Same type of touchdown, but more of like a skinny post. And you just like, what you doing? But speaking of backtracking, speaking of Julio, I was just trying to see how many snaps he's played because it doesn't look like he's really played any games for this year. He doesn't start. I'm just trying to see what's been going on, but I can't really find that. So I'm just going to chalk that up as he's not really getting the snaps like that. But for sure on the depth chart, he's second on the depth chart for left corner. But anyways, back to our dogs. I have patience for Ja'Cory Thomas. I have patience for Kyron Jones. I do like that they're physical. I feel like I agree as far as our secondary, and the issue is y'all need to be more physical at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage because we're putting y'all in. Davin Bellamy actually said it. Why am I and Kirby? I said all this last night, and I mean, people will have seen it by the time that they've seen this one. But Kirby also said it, and it made me feel validated in the fact of how I be talking about them because it's like, what is the point of you being close if you're not going to put hands
on the dude, bro? Like,
so
I seen that.
Hopefully, this is the game that we see Ellis elevate because we saw him in Alabama game. That touchdown he gave up to Bernard. Didn't even try to put hands on him.
He was impressed. Yeah, it wasn't a crazy route. It was just like you gave up inside leverage. And Davin said that same thing. He was just like, you're right there. And he was like, there is no reason to play outside leverage right here. Like,
and you just didn't get hands on him. I mean, that could have saved you in so many instances. Yeah. And then the next play, Kentucky whiffed trying to hit the outside shoulder or inside shoulder rather of the receiver before he didn't do nothing crazy. Your hips was already open. Then you whiffed. Lord, so you missed on a nice slant easily, a deep slant real quick on you. So hopefully this game is the game where first game Alabama, he didn't even try to put his hands on him. Kentucky, he whiffed. This game, I mark it. Ellis Robinson is going to put hands on somebody this game. So I need to see that.
He seems like a confidence kind of dude too. It's like all he really needs is like one good game and it'll start rolling. it'll start clicking.
Yeah, I think he has the arrogance about him, that the delusion almost that cornerbacks have to have. Um,
He's a good.
and
He's a good. He can. He's that. It's just.
you got to put it all together. I
Gotta,
think he simply
yeah.
just thought he was better. Naturally, you are very talented. That don't mean you actually are good at playing this position in football at the D1 SEC level. Do
Yeah.
you have the talent to do it? Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
think he had to see that. Hey,
He the best athlete.
I'm not that far yet.
Yeah. He arguably the best athlete between him and DeMelo. Probably the best two athletes in that secondary.
I mean,
Straight
that's
up.
why people wanted to see them get reps last year. But I think Kirby saw this in practice.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you made a freak play in practice, but it's like you didn't even
Yeah.
put your
Physical.
hands on the young man at the beginning. We're calling certain defenses, calling certain offenses against certain defenses in practice. I think they were just taking all that in, and he's not ready. And I do agree. I do wish we could have seen him last year, just from the standpoint of I would prefer him to not look like this year. But outside of that, hindsight's 2020. Because last year, if he would have got out there doing this last year, I would have been pissed. It was too much to already be pissed off about. And then you get out here doing that. Oh no. So
I think
hindsight 2020. Now knowing,
I think you actually would have been more acceptable of what Ellis is doing last year if he was a starter because he was a freshman. You'd have been like,
I wouldn't have been mad at him per se.
You were
But I would have been like, we're fucked.
but my only follow up to this is that I actually think he would have played a lot better because our pass rush last year was 10 times better than it is now. And our pass rush last year wasn't even that great.
Yeah, potentially. But we'll never know. I think as far as this year go, he got to get better right here, right now. I think all that young stuff, all that inexperience at this point, 6 games in, fourth real opponent, we got to see it. It's time. Fourth real opponent is time. Kentucky counts. Like, that's still SEC team. As not talented as they may be in the right areas, they already those are some big guys.
They
That's
still
one
got
of the
guys
biggest.
on their team.
Huh?
They still got guys on their team.
Still got guys individually, and those guys are big. They're still SEC size, SEC speed.
Yeah.
So may not be the high level SEC speed, but they got it. But lastly, to wrap this on up, so we can wrap up the last word part with this, is just I think the biggest thing with these DBs and our cornerbacks specifically is, are you physical at the point of attack at the line, right? Technique, all of that good stuff, right? Are you physical throughout the route? And then how are you with the ball in the air? My beef with all of these guys right now, and my biggest beef with Dalen, is I feel like over the years, we're used to somebody having 2 of the 3 down pat.
Yep.
And then they got this one issue. Keely, it was you too physical.
Yeah, too physical and stiff.
Tyson, it was when the ball's in the air. You're in perfect position, but what in the world are you doing?
Play the ball. Look for the ball.
I feel like Darian Kendrick, 3 out of 3. Kamari, 3 out of 3.
Yeah. DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, DeAndre Baker, 3 out of 3. Right? Eric
Stokes was Stokes
3.
was cold.
I mean, his last year, 3 out of 3.
Stokes was cutting people water off for sure.
Yeah, 3 out of 3.
He's doing it now for the Raiders, actually.
Absolutely. I feel like with Dalen, my thing with him, I can only depend on you to. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like he's done either of those 3 things consistently. It's always, all right, sometimes he's aggressive in the, you know what I'm saying, at the point of attack. Very sometimes. All the time he's sagging off. I don't like how unaggressive he is consistently. I need it consistently.
Yeah.
During the route.
That's being taught too, though. I feel like
I don't know, bro. I just feel like over the years, I just got a 110%. I feel like it's him. I feel like the tape is there to prove it. I feel like every time it's a certain, I'll say a certain technique for this certain defense that we in. Let's just say he's supposed to be playing. Perfect example. I feel like when we supposed to be playing the sticks, 60% of the time, this nigga's playing 3 yards, 4 yards back behind the sticks. Like, what are you doing? We're playing the sticks, dog. Yeah. And I feel like it's always that. Hey, bro, we playing tight at 6 yards. We let him get 6 yards. We on that. He's letting him get to 8 yards. Yeah, and it's like,
because I feel you on that a little bit too. It's just like maybe, and again, I think they're taught this a little bit, but I'm like, to your point, maybe like 2 yards. Let's say it's like 3rd and 8. You should be maybe like 5 yards off, so that if he catches the ball, he gonna run his route, catches the ball. At least you have an opportunity to break it up or stop him before he converts the first down instead of
Right.
playing 7 yards off the ball.
And then you're backing up and
you're,
bailing. It's like
you're giving him 5, and then now you got to come meet him for the 3 yards, and it's just like he might not run.
exactly.
He don't never get run over necessarily, but it's just like you fighting for the first down now.
And I will give him that. He's physical at the point of. I said this yesterday.
He'll
With
tackle.
the ball in somebody's hands,
He gonna tackle.
aggressive.
Yeah, he gonna tackle.
Before the ball gets there, you just soft for no reason, and it's like I don't get it because it's like you over depend on your recovery speed. I guess actually, I think I'm looking at it the wrong way. I think he has pretty good to great recovery speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's so afraid of getting beat when you have good recovery speed. What are you afraid of? Just do it. Yes, we know Kirby Smart since he came in the game in 2016. Straight up, this how it is. We're keeping it in front. But keeping it in front don't mean keep it in front with a cushion. It means we're just keeping it in front. So I just need more of that. I think that's the biggest problem with all of these DBs and corners we have. But specifically with Dalen, because you are the leader and you are DB1, I need you to be consistent at least two out of the 3 things. Texas game, 2 out of 3, almost 3 out of 3. Yeah, but then we never see it. Not never see it again. We see it again against Texas. It's like, bro, these the most lethal wide receivers we seeing. Why you not doing this against everybody else?
Yeah, facts.
So it's like, I'm definitely not saying we never see it. We just don't consistently see it.
That's it. Yeah, you see it in spurts for him for sure.
See it in spurts.
He'll have a couple series where he's locked down. Then he'll have a series where he gets bombed on a little bit, or it's just like.
I mean, he got caught slipping against Kentucky, but luckily the quarterback he's not accurate enough. He also threw it a little late. I think he should have threw it earlier, but we'll leave that alone. I mean, wishing great things upon those guys because when they play great, we feel great at the end of the day. But moving on here, of course, transitioning into our Auburn game this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. We will be at Jordan-Hare Stadium taking on the Auburn Tigers. And we already know crazy things happen in the plains. Crazy things happen. Even crazier things happen at night. Our 3:30 games against Auburn have been crazy enough. I just hope the crazy that we see this week is a blowout. It's possible.
I hope we win. That's really all I care about.
I pray we win. We just have to win. That's all I care about too. But hey, let's just get into it. Of course, some of the things that we need to know going into the game, obviously, are some injuries people have been worried about. Of course, Monroe Freeland, the offensive line, Ernest Green. Those guys have been or are trying to practice this week. Not sure exactly what happened today, but listening to Kirby on Monday, they were trying. They were going to get out there and do their thing, and they were hopeful for both Ernest and Monroe. And essentially, the real specific thing with Monroe that Kirby said, or honestly, the positive thing that he said was Monroe's ankle is an ankle issue, and it's not as serious as we thought it was going to be. It's not as severe. He doesn't have to do anything. The most famous or popular thing right now to hear when somebody has an ankle injury, tight rope surgery. So we didn't even hear that. So it don't even have to be anything like that. It's no surgery at all. So that's kind of good to hear. Also, I know we saw Jordan Hall go down in the game. They said that's basically something he's been dealing with all year for the most part, on and off. So not anything, seemingly nothing really to worry about in that department. Of course, we spoke about it earlier, Daniel Harris hamstring issue. What he also mentioned after speaking on the hamstring issue is also in practice. We base everything off practice. The guy who makes the best plays and does the best in practice, that's who gets in the game. So I think the hamstring issue is probably preventing Daniel Harris from doing better. Because at the end of the day, we saw Daniel Harris getting reps last year and this year, and we would sometimes be confused as to why. Something's happening in practice. I think now it's not happening because he's not healthy. So we'll see what happens.
He had Daniel Harris just had his moments.
He's been a lot better this year outside of
for sure.
The Texas game was like, I mean, the Tennessee game was just like, Are we
He's
serious
too
right now?
bad.
It was the back and forth between him and Ellis, and it's like, oh, y'all
When are y'all
serious
gonna
right
show
now?
up? Which one of y'all going? It was like, yeah, it was like, which one of y'all gonna show up today? And
Facts.
there was a bit of OPI committed. They were both in good position too, but it's just like, if we could play the
Daniel
ball.
took that was a play. Honestly, he just had you weren't playing the ball well enough. You put the wrong arm up in my opinion. The ball was thrown inside. He put up the right hand. The ball's right here, dog. You need to have both hands or at least this hand up. So it's just like he just didn't play the ball well right there, and Buddy walked right on Brazel, not Buddy. Brazel walked right on in. So I mean, he has his moments. I think he looks better than he did last year. That doesn't say too much, but I would love to see him get healthy and just see what's going on. But more importantly, whoever we have, while we have them, we need them to improve. On the Auburn side, of course, they have a couple injuries as well. I know somebody said they saw one of their offensive linemen actually had his arm in a sling. So I don't know what that was about. But of course, they also have Horatio, the wide receiver. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. So we won't be seeing him in this game either. I think it'll be a whole lot of Simmons, a whole lot of Cam Coleman, obviously, for sure. Um, and a whole lot of them just trying to let those guys make some plays. We will, of course, get into it with the offense and the offensive methodology of Hugh Freeze and how quick he likes to get that ball out. Although his quarterback may not like to do that so much, but I don't think their injuries are anything that we necessarily have to worry about. I know they do have a corner out as well. This coming weekend, I think also, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look into that. But while I look into that, also it's important to mention is Jordan Hare at night. Cam Newton is getting his jersey retired.
Yeah.
It was overdue. I don't even know how you wait, what, 20 years?
No, man, it's been 10, 15, technically.
15. Yeah, I mean, we're coming on 20. Not literally 20 because I'm only 31, but I mean, we
No,
talking
it's been 15 years since he played. Oh
32.
my god,
Yeah, so I mean, you waited 15 years to.
I was in the
We're,
10th
we're
grade.
tripping. I feel like 10 years was suitable. 10 years is suitable. If that is college. It's not like you getting your jersey retired in the league. Like, so
Oh, wow.
I don't know
Okay.
why they waited so long. Well, actually, we do know why they waited so long, but we ain't getting into all that. I mean, they had some legal things going on, but regardless, y'all seen what Cam did for y'all and how he put the team on his back in the days. And shout out to him. Shout out to Westlake. We got Westlake in the building right here too. Westlake great right here on my boy GP. But anyways, let's get into it. Kirby
Feeling that.
Smart going against Hugh Freeze head to head. I mean, these guys have seen each other multiple times. Obviously, when Hugh Freeze was coaching back at Ole Miss, got to see Kirby at Alabama multiple times. Actually, no. Hugh Freeze was at Alabama in 2018.
Hugh Freeze has never been at Alabama. Hugh
I mean, I'm
Freeze,
sorry, left Ole Miss or
he left Ole
he
Miss in 2016, I think.
16. So yeah,
I could
so
be
they
put
saw
on.
each other at Alabama when
Hold on.
Kirby was at Alabama once a
Yeah.
year. And then of course moving on, didn't see him obviously playing coaching at Liberty, but ended up going to Auburn. Now he has to see Kirby again once a year. We love to see it, and I'm not sure he loves to see it. As far as stylistically goes, I feel like a Kirby Smart defense is in the perfect position to give nightmares to a Hugh Freeze offense. We talking heavy, bless you. We're talking heavy RPO. We talking quick throws, heavy running, trying to run the ball. Not really too balanced, but as balanced as possible as they can be. But it definitely will be a run-leaning offense. I think Kirby Smart's defense is stylistically at his highest standard. They're perfectly matched to just shut a Hugh Freeze offense down. I mean, we saw last year we kind of did that. We had our troubles, but how do we see it faring out this year? I do not know. What do you think about them, just stylistically from the standpoint of just Kirby versus Hugh?
He was a character, bro. I know. People. It's funny. I feel like people don't like. There are a lot of people that either like Kirby Smart or you don't. A lot of people don't like him Partially due to our off-field issues at Georgia over the recent years, as well as feeling like all he cares about is winning, I guess. And I guess there's a thought process that Kirby can come off as like kind of smug as well. I mean, I'm being a little biased. Don't really understand the latter one, but I understand the former, being upset about that, feeling like um, there's like no control maybe over the program, or feeling like you let your players kind of do whatever and then all you care about is winning football games. Uh, I think that one has a little bit more merit, maybe, just because the players do need to like not be dickheads. But knock on wood, I don't think I've seen too much crazy stuff out of the
We've been
guys.
good outside of
Yeah.
job.
And
Outside of
also,
job, the rest we was great.
yeah, I also think they know that nowadays he's kicking people off the team if they do some stupid shit. Now, so or even if it's slight, like you've been warned too many times, like no, you gotta go. Just because you messing up the brand at this point. Um, but Hugh, I feel like he was a true character, and like Hugh actually, had to leave Ole Miss because of recruiting violations, and then he's had issues, you know, to me more more off the field issues, I would say.
Right. While you worried about what other people doing.
Yeah, but I don't know. He was just funny to me, and the reason I say he's funny is like he always seems to blame someone else for like why his team doesn't win or like loses, especially being at Auburn, especially going up against Georgia and uh, Bama, especially. It was funny. There was a clip, and this is from either his first year or last year, where they asked him, and I get they were talking about Kirby Smart, or whatever. And I think Auburn is also an interesting situation, in my opinion, because they have high ass expectations, and I get it why you would have high ass expectations. Like if you're a college football coach, and I think you, depending on the school you're at, your fan base should. Funny enough, you know, this is a bit of a sideways segment. Like Steve Sarkisian, a head coach at the University of Texas, he made a statement this week that has gone viral, and people are like cooking him for it because they were like, "Yeah, not everybody, can go play in the swamp and play at Ohio State, and all this stuff, and these expectations, are high." And everybody's like, "Motherfucker, like you are at the University of Texas, like." Sorry, I didn't cuss, but like you're at the University of Texas,
You're
like
at Texas. The
yeah,
the expectation was that when they sucked.
yeah, exactly. So, and I think Auburn is just funny because there are high expectations as well, and it just probably stings a bit more that over the I would say the last 20 years or so, when Saban was there, yeah, you beat him a couple of times, and yes, you did make two national championships, winning one with a Heisman Trophy winner. Your immediate rival in Alabama won 6 championships, and then your next rival in University of Georgia, when they got Kirby Smart, won 2. And you've beaten Georgia once, I think,
Once since he been there.
once since he's been there, and I think you've beaten. And Hugh Freeze has never beaten Georgia since he's been at Auburn. Again, knock on wood, don't want that shit to start Saturday. And um, they haven't beaten Alabama as much as I think they've beaten Alabama like twice or so. But Auburn's just funny. Whenever they beat Georgia, whenever and Alabama in the same year, they end up going to the national championship. I don't know what's up with that. It's just a thing. Um, but I don't know. Hugh's just
Wait,
funny.
when's the last time they beaten Alabama? They haven't beaten them since 2017.
No, they have. Bo Nix beat him once, I think.
Did
Swear to
he?
God.
I
Swear to
feel
God.
like he just kept coming close. I don't think he
Swear to
beat
God.
Alabama.
I promise you, I think they did. And the only reason I think I remember this is because it was the year LSU played us in. No, I lied. Nope, nope,
Yeah, they
nope.
haven't beat Alabama since 2017 season. Same
I
way they
swear.
ain't beat us since 2017.
Hold on. Let me look. Now I gotta look.
Yeah, I got you.
The Iron Bowl results. Auburn's last win was 2019. I knew it was under Bo Nix. They won a 48 to
Oh
45.
yeah, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the game that year Tua
that was
was
when
hurt.
Tua got hurt.
Tua was hurt in his hip and Bo Nix ended up winning that game. And
So they
I
beat
believe that
them. Y'all beat
yeah,
them 2 times in the last 20. I mean, 10 years.
three. Well, two, yes, two in the last 10, and then one, two, three, four in the last 15, which is bad. And some of these have been
Very bad.
blowouts.
I mean, it seems like, yeah, it's
Some of
just
these have been
bad.
blowouts.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I think Auburn does have this high expectation, these high standards. However, Auburn has historically just been the spoiler team. If y'all don't have a Cam Newton, if y'all don't have a highlight player, I mean, to an extent, Bo Nix counts. I mean, Bo Nix was not as good as they thought he was, and he was
Bo Nix
not
wasn't no threat at Auburn to me, but that's just me.
to us for sure. Not. I loved seeing him. I mean, as
He's funny.
Auburn's version of Bo Nix, I'm not scared of. I'm not fearing Jackson Arnold at all. But I'll take Bo Nix, the Auburn version. I'll take him this Saturday. Not the Oregon version, much better. Even though we whooped him too, so it's not too big of a deal either way. But I mean, if y'all don't have a highlight quarterback or a highlight player such as Cam Newton on the field, and specifically the quarterback position, because I mean, y'all have had highlight players at the running back position, wide receiver position, but it's got to be the quarterback.
I'm a
Y'all
joking.
not really hitting.
I'm a
You
jokingly
said
say
what?
it. I said I'm a jokingly say if they don't have a quarterback from Georgia playing for them, i.e. Cam Newton or Nick Marshall, and they don't. And
Y'all not beating us, and Jackson Arnold ain't from Georgia, so it's dead. But I agree with everything you're saying. I think the funny thing about the Hugh Freeze thing is quickly, so we can get into the game. But
he's
I just
whooped
have to
Kirby
humor.
before. He's
I
whooped
have
Kirby
to
before.
humor you.
Yeah.
I have to humor you though. If they lose to us, is Auburn looking for a new coach?
Yeah, probably. Just realistic.
Valid.
I think again, this goes back to the expectations thing. Like you just fired what was that dude's name? He came from Boise State. The head coach before
Yes.
Freeze. No, it was after Gus. Gus was actually like pretty decent, but like
Gus shouldn't
again,
have got fired. I think it was just like I think they
Gus
was just
got
tired. But I mean,
Gus got
I
fired.
think
I'm gonna be honest with you. Gus got fired for losing to Georgia too much because he was playing spoiler. I'm serious. He's the one that has the 2 wins against Alabama. Like you
that's true.
won. He Gus won in 13. Gus won in. He was offensive coordinator in 2010, but he
Yeah.
won in 13. He won in 17 when they beat us and beat Alabama, and then we beat him in the SEC championship game. Then he won again in
You're talking
2019.
about Kevin Steele. You're talking about Kevin Steele.
No, Kevin Steele was a defensive coordinator. Gus was the offensive coordinator. The
You know what I'm saying?
first
Kevin. Oh, you talking about Brian Harson. Sorry, sir.
Brian Hart, yeah, I couldn't think of his name. He was from Boise State,
I'm like,
but
Kevin Steele definitely was a
he was
coach for a
nah.
little minute, but I mean, he kind of just took over there. But
But but again, Hugh, on the other hand, you don't beat your rivals,
you
and
gonna get fired.
yeah, and that's the funniest thing to me. Also, like this isn't to turn into a SEC Big Ten tangent or anything, but this is just something that is humorous to me that I've always found. Like SEC is like way more cutthroat when it comes to coaches. Big Ten and
Absolutely.
other conferences will absolutely like build and let coaches figure things out over the years.
James Franklin would have been gone.
Exactly. James Franklin would have been gone. Shit. I would even say Ryan Day would have. It would have been a
Right,
possibility
J Lo, low.
on the
Yes,
lowest key,
if you talking about if
just
you
losing
talking
to
about a
Michigan.
comparison, you
Yeah,
said
just
what?
I said on the lowest keys, like him losing to Michigan. Them
Yeah, if you're
4
looking at the only comparison, the only fair comparison there is saying he's the head coach of Alabama and you losing to Auburn 3-4 years straight. You're
they
done.
rioted, bro. Like that shit don't happen. Like that shit not supposed to happen. And I get it. Like Ryan Day also followed himself up with a national championship or whatever.
Facts. That
And
saved him, but I don't even think at a school like Alabama, even Georgia,
they
you're not
talk
getting
about
that
firing Brian
opportunity.
Kelly. They talking about firing Brian Kelly, and he's made the SEC championship in his like first or second year in the SEC. bro, it's not sweet over here.
It's
So
not
yeah,
sweet. That's
so
what I think. That's the evidence behind SEC. It means more down here. These folks don't play, bro.
they don't play that shit, man. Like, and that's where I'm like, with in terms of Hugh Freeze, and I think he knows that like the walls are closing in, and this is a game that like I don't want to say that we're this is a winnable game for Auburn. I will say that. I'm gonna wholeheartedly say that. The reason I say that is we can't rush the passer. They have weapons on the out, and our secondary sucks. They got weapons on the outside. Eric
Yeah,
Singleton is nice. Cam Coleman is a freak. He should be mentioned in the names and the likes of Jeremiah Smith, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, those type of dudes. Like he is that type of caliber of wide receiver. And
they
they got
should
a
have went to
freaky
another
front.
school.
They got a freaky front seven as well too. Like that front four, especially the front four, great pass rush, great
Yeah,
pass rush. Like they have dudes. Auburn always has dudes, but I do fear that like it's not like we're ass or anything. I ain't saying that. This is a potentially gettable game for them, and then you losing to A&M last week, you coming back home, limping home, like yeah, it's at night, and then there's this again the spookiness factor of like, oh my god, Jordan Hare at night, 7:30. Been a few times, unfortunately, where Georgia's gotten got at night against Jordan Hare at night, uh, more than once actually, and it's been bad. Um, I can't allow that to happen this weekend. I can't honestly,
we don't got
and like
time for it. We don't got
yeah,
time for it.
I don't. And honestly, everybody, Georgia and Bama fans alike, always can come to the conclusion that like that field is cursed. Something. There's some voodoo somewhere in that stadium, bro. Because like, especially when you play them at night, it's just something crazy always happens playing them.
It's valid. I mean, we're all gonna be watching and we all gonna be tuned in. I think it'll be a great game to see. But we got to go home with the win. Point blank. Period. I ain't even got time for it. Whatever the voodoo is on that field, we better overcome it.
Yeah.
I believe in Jesus Christ, so we'll be okay. But going away from the coaches, real quick, GP, before we hop into the game, favorite memory from the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
I don't know if I have a favorite one right now because whooping their ass so much. Oh, I feel like this is kind of funny. Uh, just I'm in a group chat with Falcons fans. Some of them happen to be Auburn fans.
Mm-hmm.
We troll a lot, but there was a mention of like um, Georgia beating Auburn or like whoever wins. They always play crank that because like Auburn tried to play crank that. I think the first time we played them and we beat the shit out of them that year. Weird. Like I said, something about Auburn, but we don't lose to them, bro. Like excuse me. I have a thing. This is just a personal thing. Losing to teams with orange disgusts me because orange is a nasty color. Like I don't give a damn if it's Auburn, Florida, Clemson. Uh, who else wears orange? That's a rival technically. Tennessee. Yeah, no, all of them nasty. Don't lose. That's my motto for this weekend. Don't lose.
That's 100% true. I do have a favorite. I had to sit here and think about it for a while. I had obviously when I wrote the script, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what is my favorite because I do love a whoop ass game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like
I've
beating the
loved
brakes
these
off.
last couple years.
Yeah.
But core childhood memory, bro. 2002. I am on a soccer trip. We playing travel soccer or whatever. Watching the game in the hotel. I'm geek. Like, of course, some of my teammates they not even really into it, but I had one teammate. Shout out to, ironically, shout out to Robert Mize. You might have heard of his dad, Larry Mize. He played golf for a long time, but he was also a freaking dentist. It was crazy, but played professional golf and actually won a couple, but straight out of Columbus. So shout out to them. But um, 2002, of course, we had David Green at the time, and that was when they still had Ronnie Brown. So
Mm-hmm.
Auburn was supposed to be that deal. right?
They were
They were supposed to.
called back then. Yep.
They were supposed to make it happen. Hey, they was up at the half, and I remember my mom being like, "You sure you don't want to go hang with your teammates?" Like,
Nope.
Auburn already up, they winning, and we came back and did what needed to be done. So I remember that one. I think that's when I really was like super duper locked in on Georgia football from then on out. I've been a Georgia fan since birth, just from family, my granddad. But I remember that was probably the first Georgia win I'll never forget. That one right there, 2002. That was a great one, and of course they did that, did that in Auburn. So I had to see it. I had to see it. I loved it. And at the end of the day, we went to SEC championship from that too. I mean, that was the year we that was the year we beat Arkansas. I'm pretty sure you might vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
But
I remember that.
so that was kind of like
We put pain in
probably
them.
some of the best years for obviously Mark Rick and them. But and then we went on from there. David Green was definitely the first Georgia quarterback that I was like really locked in on. So I don't know. I'd have to say that's my favorite memory. Also, just anytime we win is a great memory for me. I mean, as I said before, straight out of the 706 Columbus, Georgia. As a kid, not understanding geography, and I'm thinking it's a Georgia school, a school called the University of Georgia, and these people are running around Georgia and Columbus, Georgia, being Auburn fans, just baffled me as a kid. I didn't understand it because I didn't really understand the geography as a kid. I didn't understand. Hey, my
Y'all,
boy, you really like 30 miles from being from Alabama for real.
y'all closer to Auburn than y'all are to Athens or Atlanta.
Absolutely.
No.
Auburn from my crib, Auburn's probably 45 minutes from my
Yeah.
crib.
Yeah.
So Athens, easily 2 hours. So yeah, a lot of people are Auburn fans. As a kid, I didn't understand that. But now, obviously, when I got older, I understood why these people are Auburn fans. I still thought they were insane. And the only time I've ever I would never say I rooted for Auburn. I kind of rooted for Auburn in that Oregon national championship game. I will not lie, kind of.
I've rooted for Auburn one time.
That was my one time.
Yeah.
But most of the other
It was
time, it's just me
because of
not
Cam.
rooting for them to lose. It was Cam. I mean, the national
Yeah.
championship of Oregon. Cam was a Georgia guy.
He
I
went to my
was
high
in the
school.
I was in the high school football at that time. I really understood what was going on with recruiting, even though I was young. I was into it. I knew what was going on. I knew who Cam Newton was. I knew his story. I'm rocking with it. Superman. Like I gotta rock with it. He's a black man. He's from Georgia. I gotta rock with it. That was my only time, and never ever again. I don't care. Deuce Knight, he ain't got enough star power for me. But I'd take him if he wanted to come to Georgia. I'd take him. But moving on here to the game, obviously, all offense going up against Auburn's defense. I think it's strength on strength, if I'm being honest. Their strength is obviously their front seven, defensive line. They're stout. Our strength is running the ball, being stout, controlling the line of scrimmage in the run game, controlling the clock.
We're gonna
They are
show up.
suited. Fight. They're ready to fight. It's going to be an all-out brawl on that line of scrimmage. And, of course, if we do not take it to them and tire out that defensive line of theirs, it will be a long night for us. And it might not end how we want it to end. Looking at the game, of course, some things I've just noted down as keys to the game. For one, we can just start off with one of the biggest things I saw, and ironically, using the Texas A&M 2 weeks in a row, we've used, or I've seen other journalists and podcasters, etc., covering Georgia football or just touching on these games. They've used the Texas A&M opponent or Texas A&M game leading into ours. Obviously, Texas A&M played Kentucky right before us. Texas A&M also just played Auburn right before us. So I think that also helps with UGA's game plan to an extent. I feel like the defenses are a little similar as far as the standard of physicality when you're talking about Texas A&M and the Aggies and our defense and what Kirby Smart has as a standard for our physicality and the level of play. We are going to, from an offensive standpoint, I think you saw watching the Texas A&M game, a lot of pressure on third down, right?
Boy.
Texas A&M came out the gate, touchdown, boom. I thought, all right, they finna get it rolling. From there, they couldn't punt, turnover on downs, and another punt, and then the half was over. So you're talking about a situation where the only reason that sequence happened, and I think they ended up scoring before the half, but the only reason that sequence happened is because pressure being sent on third down. I
Yeah.
feel like one of, if not the biggest key, is for us to either not get into. It's always never get into third and long. We never want to be in that position. But I feel like one of the biggest keys is to keep it third and short at all costs, or not even get into third down positions or situations. And of course, if we do, we have to pick up the blitz and the stunts.
Yeah. One thing I will say though is like A&M ran the piss out of the ball, which is obviously our strength. I would say for our offense, like Le'Veon Moss had 139 yards on 21 carries.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben Owens had 52 yards on 3 carries. Um, Amari Daniels had 42 yards on 12 carries. So like they ran for as a team, they ran for 207 yards. Marcel threw for 200 yards, but I think they have a good pass rushing unit, but it's clear as day that they can be run on. I think if we can establish the run, we will probably control the pace of the game. And to your point earlier, like don't get in like third and eights, like don't get in obvious passing downs because when you're in obvious passing downs, then you're allowing those guys on that Auburn front to pin their ears back and get and attack you. And Marcel did get sacked a decent amount of time. Marcel Reed did get sacked a couple times. Um,
We got
because he
sacked, I believe it was 4 or 5 times in that game.
yeah, and he fumbled twice as
Yeah.
well. He didn't lose them, but he did fumble twice. So um, just get ahead of the sticks, control the pace of the game, run the clock, gunner make it throws. I think we have the weapons to be able to take advantage of their secondary as well.
I agree.
They're not like horrible or anything like that, but like for example, and I'm gonna go backtrack a little bit because you asked me what my favorite memory is, and I really was struggling to think of one kind of outside of like '07 time frame. But
Mhm.
I will say one thing that does a recent game that I really rocked with was the 2023 game. We were number one going into there. We went down a little bit early. It looked like we were going to get upset. They for sure would have stormed the field. Brock Bowers made like 4 plays on the same drive, like crazy one-handed catches, and then he took a slant, basically like 45 yards.
To the
Whatever. First
crib.
off, it was a dime from Carson, but then he took it to the crib, and I was just like, yeah, like we got this
We broke
again.
their heart.
Yeah, so I don't want it to be that close personally. I like I like the thoroughly thrashing Auburn personally, but um, control the pace of the game. I think we won, and then defensively, if there was ever a time when these dudes wanted to, prove that they were finally about action and finally waking up to the regular season, being that it's here, this would be the game. Cam Coleman, like I said, he's a freak, 6'4", like 220, something like that. He's insane. Uh, and he's had games where he's been electric. Well, it's two people I think you gotta concern yourself with. Obviously, well, three, excuse me. Obviously, Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton.
Right.
Um, and then I would say Jackson Arnold's scrambling ability. Not the greatest thrower of the football, not the most accurate thrower of the football, but one thing Georgia does seem to suffer with is quarterbacks that are mobile. Just been a issue for years in this defense. I think we have the athletes at to be able to keep up in like Chris Cole, Raylan Wilson, Justin Williams. But um, at the same time, get them on the ground for sure.
I
Get
think
them on the ground.
I think that's one of the biggest keys that I actually did put down for our defense. You got to have great open field tackling. I think we have to be aggressive. We have to be handsy with it legally
Yeah.
out the
Reroute
gate.
guys. Reroute
We
guys.
got to interrupt the timing, especially it's so crucial, especially with Jackson Arnold.
I'm going to throw you one.
He
Or
might throw you one. I think he's being so careful because of how bad the turnovers were last year. I think he's
last
being
year.
so careful that that's why he's holding on the ball. He doesn't want to throw you one. I mean, he hasn't had an interception this year. I think they might be the only. He might be the only quarterback in the SEC without an interception so far.
He actually,
Um,
ironically, he only had 3 last year, but it
I mean,
was
he had the same issue last year. He didn't really get the
yeah.
ball
He
off
just
last year.
yeah. It's just
I
like
mean,
you're
the
not.
offensive line was pretty bad last year, but also he was holding the ball too long at certain instances. It seems like he's not learning as well. I think earlier, to correct myself, I was saying Simmons earlier. I definitely meant Singleton. Singleton is going to be a problem. I think the running backs are talented, but
Yeah,
you talking
Damari
about
Austin.
Cobb. I mean, Jeremiah Cobb. I mean,
Yeah,
I
Cobb and
just
Damari.
think we're going to stop the run. I think we have to make them one dimensional. I think we
Yep.
have to be disciplined, apply pressure, but be disciplined. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really the theme of it all. Apply pressure from the cornerback position. Apply pressure right out the gate, at the beginning of the route, right off the line. But be disciplined. Don't hold. Don't be too handsy. Let it go at 5 yards. When you talking
Mm-hmm.
about the D line, apply pressure, but be disciplined. Don't give up your rush lanes. Stay in your lane so that we're not letting Jackson Arnold have opportunities to go north and south. He going east and west. I don't want that either, but I'll take that, I guess. But don't give him any opportunities to go north and south because he will make the most out of it. I actually don't want him going east and west. Just stay in your passing lane or your rush lanes and make sure we're being, again, disciplined and apply pressure. Apply pressure and be disciplined. I think that's really the key to the defense when it comes to things. And I think it's very simple. We know what they're doing on third down. Get them in the third and long. They're going to ask Jackson Arnold to sit back there and try to throw something he ain't thrown successfully all year. Let's see it. He going to throw up a ball to Cam Coleman, throw up a hope and a prayer. Let's do it. I want
I
to
mean,
see us. I want to see some bracketed coverages. I want to see it. I think this is the quarterback to where you can force him to have to throw to somebody else because I think by the time he sees that he has to throw to somebody else, we'll finally get home. Or he might not even like it. Or we finally have covered the other person that we want you to cover, throw it to. That window's closed. So I want us to force him to get the ball to anybody other than Cam Coleman, anybody other than Singleton. And let's just see what he does with that.
Malcolm Simmons is also pretty electric too.
Nah,
So
Simmons is nice. I
just,
just think we know who he's looking for.
yeah,
Right?
agreed.
We know he wants to get that deep ball to Cam. And honestly, I mean, Cam Coleman's a freak, bro. It's freak of nature. If he went to any other school, had any other quarterback, like you said, he would be in the likes and mentioned in the likes of a Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he chose Auburn. He loves Auburn. He loves the university. Ain't that much love in the world if you ask me. But
He
hey,
should have won.
your decision, young man.
Yeah,
But of course, just touching back on the offense as well. One of the things I did mark as a key also is I think we got to go tempo. I think we got to keep the speed up. I've seen that as just being something that we've done on the road, and I think it works when we're talking about loud crowds, right? We've both been to live games, SEC games. They announce when it's time for you to get loud, right? But if I don't give the announcer time to announce to the crowd what it's time for, I'm in a good position. I can get my play off. It's not going to be quiet, but I have a little bit more control. And then if I'm actually successful in this play, this tempo play, now all of a sudden I've taken the breath out of the stadium. So I want to see that. Of course, I want us to see us not go too fast though, because at the end of the day, we potentially will have two freshmen on the right hand side of the line.
yep,
Potentially have a red shirt sophomore, a red shirt freshman, whatever, on the left hand side of the line. We don't know. So we're gonna end up potentially with our center having the most snaps and the most playing time and starting reps out of the whole offensive line, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not exactly ideal, right? With Drew Bobo. And we love Bobo. I think he has to really be the leader of the O line and that youth, offense and defense, key to the game. When it comes to your inexperience or experience, nobody cares. What are you doing today?
agreed,
That
agreed.
is my key for both offense and defense to end off. My keys with that, just nobody cares. All right, we got two freshmen on the right hand side of the line.
Got to
Red
handle
shirt
too.
sophomore, red shirt freshman on the left hand side of the line. Drew Bobo is our center who only has maybe 9, 10 starts.
He
Nobody
is nice.
cares though.
He is nice.
No, he's nice. But I
I
mean, when we look at it, he's really technically not experienced either, for real.
I have to give him so much credit. I thought he was going to be so mid this year, coming into this year, bro. And
Drew Bobo's nice.
he's
He's
probably been
nice.
our best lineman between him and Monroe Freeling. They've been the best two linemen so far this year, for
Yeah,
sure.
he's been nice. He's consistent. He misses some things as well. He's a little undersized, so
He is a
but
little
I feel
undersized. I mean,
like
that's normal for a center. I feel like as well
I
too.
feel like he misses a few things, but I also feel like he's getting it down pat. I feel like
Yep.
he's getting to a
Clearly,
place where he's
and,
consistent,
yeah, and clearly effective in the
consistently
run
doing
game.
what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, clearly effective in the run game. I feel
No,
like
for sure.
big
I would
take.
like to see him be a little more intelligent in the pass pro, but I think that's all five offensive linemen, no matter who you putting out there. So
Mm-hmm.
I do need to see that. But of course, like we said, biggest thing I think we can just leave it at that with the defense. Look, bro, be disciplined, apply pressure, and nobody cares how young you are or aren't. Nobody cares. What are you doing today?
Mm-hmm.
How are you rocking out today? So we got to see that. I think that as long as we do those things, we for sure can win this game. Play mistake free ball, run the ball, take shots, abuse their DBs. I feel like I don't listen to Auburn podcasts, but I'm sure if I did, I'd probably hear them talk about their secondary the same way we talk about ours. So take shots at those guys. Defensively, again, can't say it more than enough. Apply pressure and be disciplined while you're doing it. That's all we ask for. And at the end of the day, we do not care about that young crap no more. We don't care about your inexperience. We don't care what class you are in or your classification, rather. It's time. And this is a great coming out party, a great opportunity for whoever wants it. It's a great opportunity to be your coming out party. Jordan Hare Stadium, 7:30 at night. Ellis Robinson, this is when we knew. DeMello Jones, this is when we knew. Why not? Why it can't be you? So
Hey,
I like to see it.
sure.
We can
Never
get on
say never.
here real quick and end it off with some scores and predictions. How you seeing it?
Uh, due to the fact that the secondary began absolutely bombed on, I'll go 35-24. Georgia.
That's a high score. That's
Yeah,
a
but
high
I also
score.
feel like we can run the ball well, and I feel like Gunner will be effective with his legs. What I if I was to challenge Gunner, the only thing I would say is like I would like him to really spread the ball around a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm beyond the Bobo thing. Like it's not Bobo's fault. It's not necessarily. It's more on Gunner, in my opinion. Like some of this stuff, you just gotta see, and if you're gonna see it, you gotta throw it. Like trust it, I should say, more than anything. Like it's there. It's there for you to throw. Um, Defensively, actually, even above the secondary being shaky, like I would really like for us to get some actual pressure on a quarterback. It feels like all these quarterbacks have had all day. I know some like Aguilar got the ball out quick. Um, Ty Simpson, it felt like he could, you know, wake up, cook breakfast, get dressed, work out, and do all that shit before he threw the fucking football. And that was annoying, especially with him going, he was surgical at one point. Like he was like 10 for 10 on third down or something like that. Something crazy. Like
Yeah.
you can't afford that. Yes, getting him in the third down is like great. Like kudos to y'all for getting him in the third down. But you actually have to get him on the ground or, stop the drive. And it just felt
That's a
like,
fact.
yeah. And then ironically in the second half, I think they didn't score in that
They did
Alabama
it.
game. Yeah, so it's like y'all learned something. Y'all did something. Right. But I don't know, man.
Defense
Like,
adjustments, coaching adjustments definitely happen, and they're very real. And we
yeah,
probably have the coach that does them the best.
yeah. So for now, I just feel like, man, guys, like I said, put more pressure on Jackson Arnold. He's gonna run around. He's gonna get his Kyler Murray thing going on, or whatever. He's gonna try to get the ball to, um, he's gonna try to get the ball to his receivers. And the thing is, crazy is like when you count Jackson Arnold out, he can get you this random ass upset. Like he upset Alabama last year doing that. Like you gotta I don't know, man. You just gotta get him on the ground. And like I said, and a lot of it is also like he'll extend plays with his legs. He does actually, ironically, you said it earlier. He does remind me of Bo Nix a little bit. He does, straight up. So gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I think it comes down to us just shutting down Jackson Arnold, like you said,
Shut down the
and
run first too, because I feel
shut
like
down. I mean, that's first
yeah,
before anything. Run
yeah,
the ball, establish the run, and stop down and stop their run. Keep them from establishing their run. That is first and foremost. You had a high score there. I was trying to look for it. I don't even know what I was looking at earlier, but you are not in the minority. 83 or like 80 some percent of people took the over on the game. So far.
because our secondary sucks right now.
Yeah. I just don't I believe that we're gonna see a well rounded defense this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think defense travels. I think the offense will travel too. I think they've shown that due to our leader. I think he is who he is. I think Gunner is. It don't matter where we playing. We can play on the moon. We can play in Pasadena, California. Gunner is gonna show up as Gunner regardless. I think he showed that in the Tennessee game. So I think we're gonna just be a well traveled team altogether. I think we're gonna shut it down defensively. I don't think
I would like that. I would
I
like to
don't
see.
think Jackson's gonna have the time. I think that we'll take advantage of shutting down the run. I think we'll start getting home. I think our DBs will play more aggressive. Um, I'll give them honestly. I'll give them. I feel like at most I want to give them 17 points. I really wanted to say stay close to like 13. Um, I feel like we'll probably put up a nice 24 at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna actually go 24-13. I'm gonna go 24-13. 24-13 UGA. I wouldn't be surprised
Oh yeah,
if it's 24-17. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a blowout. I think we can get 21 on the board, 24 on the board. I feel like if we're really rolling, we can do more. I think the biggest thing about it is we got to start how we started against Kentucky last week. Two for
yeah.
two.
I would actually argue most of the drives this year, outside of the first Bama game, have been pretty solid. Even when Bama went up 14 zip on us, like we responded and drove down the field and won. Tennessee game where we responded, like they threw a bomb, we came right back and
Yeah,
scored. Like
facts.
so, we can trade blows with teams. That's one thing I do know about this team. Like I said, a lot of that is just because, quite simply, we run the piss out of the football right now, and we're really good at
Yeah,
it. It's not just one dude that can run the football.
we
Um,
got six.
yeah, basically.
Basically got six running backs. I think we're gonna come out the gate. Hopefully we win the toss. We defer. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
defer.
stop them,
Yeah, play
and
defense. Give me a give me a
just get
good
rolling.
three. Give me a good
Get a
three and
good
out.
3 and out.
On the board, and let's go. Let's go, man. Lock in.
Yeah. Oh, one of the biggest things I meant to mention, man. If you look at that Texas A&M game, I watched it sparingly, actually live. Rewatched the highlights a little while ago. Of course, I like to look at the play by play. There were a lot of drives. Auburn's on that field for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Drives lasting 36 seconds. We got to get some of them. And we got to put that defense back on that field. I think that's where that pass rush starts slowing down. The pass rush doesn't become as effective. They're not as deep as us. I think they have some young guys on that front seven as well, but they're not as deep as us. So I think that's what we've got to do. Everybody has to work together. I think out the gate, we got to go ahead and tire that defense out by running the ball and the defense getting off the field. Very simple. So like I
Yeah.
said, I see a 20. I'm gonna call it 24. I actually go 24. I'll go 24-13.
You're
24-13.
sticking with that.
I'm gonna go 24-13. I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 24-17, but we give up 20 points. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be upset too, because oh my god, and I guess I'm gonna be upset because Auburn. I don't know if they don't score the ball that well.
They don't score the ball well at all. And I think I'd be pissed because I know exactly how it happened. 17 or 20 points is easily. We give up 2 touchdowns. I'm giving them 1 touchdown because I just know something gonna
Au-
happen. I see us
Auburn,
just giving up
yeah,
2 bombs and then 2 field goals ain't nothing.
the
I
two
think they
SEC.
easily can get there.
I will say the two SEC games that they played. Oklahoma does have a defense, a really good one at that,
They absolutely do.
and they have a crazy, an enigma in John Mateer. I say enigma because he's fun to watch, but it's just like you don't know what you're gonna get
Yeah,
with him. And then A&M also had a pretty good defense as well. We're the more shaky one, I would say, which is crazy be saying that. But
crazy
hopefully
saying
this
that
is
Georgia is the shaky one.
hopefully this is the get right game for us, like on that side of the football, for sure.
I mean, it absolutely has to be if I'm being honest. I
Yeah.
mean, but at the same time, if you do look at the statistics, you look at the stats. I think Texas A&M, looking at it, they're pretty good on third down. As are
Mm.
we. We're good at third down. Um, Rushing, running the ball. They're so at that. We're phenomenal at it. And then they're also kind of they're all right. They're all right defensively as far as like rushing the passer and when it comes to limiting the pass. They're okay. I think I wouldn't say that their defense is better than ours. So I do feel like
They got a better pass rush.
they have a better. I'll say they had a better pass rush against Auburn. I need to see them against some people that can actually block. So I will say that I do feel like they do have a better pass rush. I feel like from rewatching that game while rewatching the highlights, I do think some of that just came down to plain and simple. Auburn can't block. Guys was running free sometimes. Sometimes Jackson was just holding the ball too long. But enough of all that. Any last final thoughts on the game before we get out of here? And of course, we'll be back on Thursday and talk more SEC ball. But anything you forgot to mention or want to mention when it comes to this Auburn UGA game on the plains?
Uh, we ain't lost since 17. Don't start now. I'm very simple, bro. You know this. Don't
That's a
lose.
fact. Ironically, the streak is at 8, and the record streak, the longest streak in this rivalry, is at 9. So it's time to tie it. And then next year, let's go ahead and beat it. So
Right. Same thing with Tennessee.
same thing. I mean,
Ain't
until it
nothing wrong
happens,
with
why
whooping your
should we
rival.
see otherwise? Yep. Why should we think otherwise until it happens? But I think the perfect recipe is Jordan Hare at night. I think regardless of that, we take care of business.
Yeah. Also, I think another thing that I think has helped even with this young ass team, they've been on the road. Nighttime environment is going to be a little bit different, especially being a Jordan Hare. But you've played on the road at Tennessee, which is just as loud. Um, so yeah,
I
and
don't
a
think
bit.
it should affect us. I don't think our team or our program. I think we have a team and or we have a program that unspokenly, because I don't even think they speak about it, unfortunately. I think unspokenly we have a team that gets a little tight in that rear end when Alabama come to town or we go to
Facts.
town against Alabama. Now on the other end, I feel like when it comes to Auburn, I think unspokenly that program, we feel like we own Auburn. So I think unless we let it, unless we let it, I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll be just fine. Unless we let the crowd and we let the Jordan Hare at night become a thing, I don't think it'll be a thing unless we let it become a thing. Jordan Hare at night is scary, but the Dogs when we rolling, that's much scarier, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So
You know
with
what it
that
is.
being said, that's it here for the Red Clay Report. We'll holler at y'all on Thursday, talk some more ACC ball. Some great lineups going on. Of course, we got Alabama sliding to Mizzou. We got LSU. They at home against South Carolina, right? So South Carolina sliding to Baton Rouge. And that's at night. That's scary for them. I wish South Carolina was looking better than they are. Probably be more of a game, but still worth the watch. Still worth the watch. And of course, what is this? The second year in a row? Well, I say this is really the first real Red River showdown in the SEC. Last year was
You
not
know,
it.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. It's flipped. It's funny to me how the narrative is flipped. Texas was the number one team in the country, or
And now we
was it
see what's going on.
number one team in the country, and now they're
Yeah, there was no
unranked.
more. There's no
Yeah,
more.
they're unranked. That's crazy.
We're gonna
Um,
see it. And allegedly, John Mateer will be back.
yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. I do think though that when it comes to that, um, while I do think Oklahoma is better than Texas, Texas is still very talented, and Texas could pull off this uh, upset. I say upset in quotes just because like there's
Yeah.
too much talent on Texas as a unit, as like a team. But like you're now 0-1. If you're Texas, you're 0-1 in SEC play. You're 3-2. The
On the
Ohio
season.
State loss ain't really that big of it. Ain't really that deep. And the reason I say that is like beginning of the year, it was 1-L. You lost by a touchdown, and you went to their place, and it looks like Ohio State is the best team, or if not the second best team in the country right now. But Oklahoma, looks good. But it's like for Texas, it's like, hey man, nothing but space and opportunity. And the craziest thing is you really don't play nobody in the SEC for real this year. The only other two games is
Georgia.
really why they can't lose. But your only other games for real that are questionable, I would say, uh, Georgia and A&M. I would throw Vandy in there a little bit, and Mississippi State can throw the ball, but you know you need to figure something out quickly because you run the risk also of like you lose let's say they lose 4 games and they had all these crazy expectations. Folks start looking at you a little weird, and the portal's a thing now as well too. Like that NIL money ain't going hold itself up at some point.
Yeah, just a thought. Because at the end of the day, it's only so many roster spots. Sometimes kids getting forced out when they don't want to be, and they don't want to be competed against. So
If Texas wants to, and then like you got embarrassed at Florida, and Florida has been reeling,
really bad.
reeling, and you lost to Florida, bro. Like with
Yeah.
a dude who they want to, oh my god, their head coach is hanging on by a thread, and y'all lost to him, and y'all want people to take y'all seriously? No. Oh, brother.
Not at all. Not at all. But we'll talk about that and more of this coming Thursday. That's it for the Regular Report. She got K Will. I got GP. Appreciate y'all. We'll holla.
Peace.